It's the Super Bowl for movies. It's Hollywood's WrestleMania. In a special episode of Cinema Talk, we're going to break down the Academy Awards that happened on Sunday. Who won, who lost, and who should have won. This is Cinema Talk, and please, quiet on the set. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of Cinema Talk. I'm joined with two of my best friends and brothers, Justin and Zach Rogers. Guys, how you guys doing today?
All doing fantastic. It's a fantastic day.
Doing great. Doing really good.
So, like I said, this is a special episode of Cinema Talk because we're not going to do the whole bit. We're not going to do the box office bit. We're not going to do the roundup. We're going straight into the Academy Awards. They happened on Sunday. A very shocking Academy Awards ceremony. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to break down all the winners. There is some shocks, some that we kind of figured we're going to win. But let's go ahead and break it down. So I'm going to start with Best Original Song. And I'm Gonna Love Me Again from Rocket Man took that award home over Into the Unknown from Frozen 2. I'm Standing With You from Breakthrough. Stand Up from Harriet. And I Can't Let You Throw Yourself Away from Toy Story 4.
I think this one is a known-brainer in the sense that, I mean, it's a song by Elton John. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like it's a song that it was a song that was already written, correct? Like it was adapted for the movie, so it just seemed like it was something that was already written, something that everybody pretty much knows, and it just seemed like because it's adapted to a movie, it's gonna be nominated for this award, and it's gonna win.
Yeah. I saw a lot of people getting angry that Into the Unknown lost. Come on, man. It's a great song, but it's Elton John.
Yeah, I think that's also true, though.
All right, moving on to Best Original Score. We had our nominees were Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Just going to put this out. One of those things is not like the other. Best Original Score winner happens to go to Joker.
All right.
This was one I know we have differing opinions on, Justin. I think this was a well-deserved win. I think that the score allows for you to really capture the sort of torment that Arthur Fleck is going through, and it helps to illustrate the disconnect between himself and the persona of the Joker. But I know you have a different opinion.
So I'm not saying the Joker score is bad. I will agree with you 100%. It definitely reflected what was going on in that movie. I felt chills during that movie because of how powerful that score was. But where the heck is the Avengers Endgame score on this? I think it should have at least been nominated, if not win. Because, I mean,
agree.
Obviously you have John Williams on here. It's very easy to want to give him the win. But for me, like, out of everything is on here, I would give it to Joker. But if Endgame was on here, I would have to pick Endgame because I think Endgame had a more powerful score that went with the movie than Joker did.
I'll agree with you because Alan Silvestri has done for the Avengers, and I don't think he did Age of Ultron, but he did Infinity War 2. He's done an amazing job, and I feel like that's half the reason why everyone's so emotionally involved. And I feel like it could have beaten out maybe Marriage Story and Little Women. So
yeah, that's what I was saying. One of these things is not like the other. I would take Marriage Story out and put Avengers Endgame and then have that win.
Yeah, some of this, I mean, again, I haven't seen either Little Woman or Marriage Story.
The score for Little Women is really good.
Fantastic. But, like, it just, like, I mean, I kind of know the story, like, of Marriage Story, and it's just, like, how do you have a score like that? Again, I haven't seen the movie, so please, like, don't critique me because I'm saying this. But it just seems like, knowing kind of the plot of it, why would you have a score like that? I mean, maybe they're just trying to have a lot of diversity, which is great to have, but also, like, we're talking about the quality of music. And again, I haven't heard the soundtrack, but it might be good. But I just, again, like you said, one of these things is not like the other.
All right, we're going to move on to Best International Feature Film, Best Foreign Language Film. This was one, I think, this was one of the obvious ones. The nominees were Corpus Christi, Honeyland, Pain and Glory, Les Miserables, and the eventual winner, Parasite. This was a no-brainer. Absolutely, 100%. Keep that name in mind because it's going to come back again.
Buddy.
It's going to come back a few times.
Yeah.
Best Makeup and Hairstyling the nominees were 1917, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, Judy, Joker, and the eventual winner, Bombshell.
All right.
I see it, but like, I'm trying to take my bias out. Trying to take my comic book bias out.
I know you really like Joker.
Yes.
And honestly, and I think this is a topic of discussion for this entire podcast, how Joker didn't win some of these categories, especially when we're going to be talking about Best Director soon. And I know, Ayinde, you have a lot to say about that. But, like, again, like, a lot of these movies I haven't seen. So, like, Bombshell I haven't seen, so I, like, wouldn't know. But just the Joker.
Like, it's iconic now. Like, you see people in there's some stuff going on in France right now, and these protesters, guess what they're wearing? Green wigs and the Joker clown makeup. It is instantly iconic.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe it's trying. I guess it's the Academy's way of saying, "Hey, we're gonna give you comic book fans a little bit of something. We're not gonna give you everything, even though you've been nominated for 11 awards. We're not gonna give you everything, but we'll get you something."
Oh man.
I don't think Bombshell should have won, maybe necessarily. I didn't get to see 1917, but I saw some of the behind the scenes and just all of the uniforms and all of the makeup and hairstyling for that. I don't know. I feel like that maybe could have beaten out Bombshell. Maybe Joker could have won it, but it should have beaten out that.
Yeah. We're gonna move on to best visual effects.
Oh.
But now keep in mind, this is a non-Michael Bay year. Like, we didn't have a movie from Michael Bay, so what are we gonna do with explosions? What world will we live in where we don't have a film with explosions? It looks a little bit something like this. Nominees were, of course, Avengers Endgame, The Irishman, The Lion King, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, and the eventual winner, 1917.
Hands down, 1917 definitely deserved to win this one.
Now, I would love to have seen Avengers Endgame win because for the journey and like Thanos and everything, but when you take into consideration how 1917 was filmed, and then how they added the visual effects within it, then I understand more now why 1917 won over Endgame.
The thing with some of these other ones too, I mean, you have Lion King. I mean, yes, it's gonna get nominated because it's a live action. Like, it's gonna be nominated.
No, it wasn't necessarily live action, but
yeah, but like, you can consider like it going from animation to like quote unquote real life. And then you have Star Wars. I feel like every Star Wars film is gonna be nominated for
every
best
Star
visual
Wars film
effects.
has been
The
nominated.
Rise of Skywalker was beautiful though.
And when it comes to visual effects,
oh, so beautiful. But yeah, no, 1917 was hands down.
Yeah.
Now to best film editing. So the nominees are Parasite, Joker, Jojo Rabbit, The Irishman, and the winner is Ford v Ferrari. I agree with this one 100%. Okay. This was well deserved. If you've seen the film, you understand this film is edited very, very well. Like, it is cut perfectly. So I mean, I have no qualms about this one.
Yeah, same.
Well, it's kind of funny because you could have put 1917 in there because it's technically in one shot.
Could. but it's also created through match cuts. So like, you know, and some pretty clear some really good editing had to go in there to make it all look like one shot. But hey, you know, semantics.
Hey, 1917 can't win everything.
No.
Right.
So, and the thing about, like, what I love about the Academy Awards as well is recognizing everything that's behind the scenes of a movie. That it goes beyond the acting, beyond the plot, beyond the actual film, and it goes right to things like film editing. So I super appreciate them going deep and seeing these kind of movies and going behind the scenes for them.
Speaking of the one take, cinematography, best cinematography.
Do we even have to mention?
We don't even have
to.
We do it with every other one. I gotta do it to this one too. Nominees were The Irishman, Joker, The Lighthouse, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and the winner, the only one that should have won, 1917. Come on, again, with that, the entire movie looks like it's one take. How do you beat that? You can't.
And the fact that this is most likely the reason why it's nominated for Best Picture.
Oh, yeah.
I would say it's the reason. When cinematography is the reason why you are nominated for Best Picture, it has to win.
All right, now we're going to move on to the sound categories. This is one of the rare years where the sound editing award and the sound mixing award differ. So the Sound Mixing Award nominees were Ad Astra, Ford v Ferrari, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Joker, and in 1917 taking the win.
Of course.
Obvious, because of course.
Yeah.
But sound editing, 1917 actually lost this one alongside Joker, Once Upon a Time, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker to Ford v Ferrari. And I kind of see it. I still think it should have been 1917 though.
Yeah.
Maybe Joker. Just for I'm thinking about that one like the scene near the end, the Murray Franklin scene, and the way that the sound works, not just the music, but like the sound when he takes that shot, it hits you.
Yes.
It's a very powerful shot, and that's the shot that everybody got worried about because it felt so real. It sounded so real. And I think that I can sort of see that, but Ford v Ferrari, I think it is fantastic.
Oh, I can see that.
Yep. We're going to move on to documentary short and documentary feature. I'm going to sort of combine these two. The winners of the documentary feature is American Factory, and the winner of documentary short is Learning to Skateboard in a War Zone If You're a Girl. That's a long title.
Yeah. I
haven't seen any of these either.
But like that
that title.
That title
makes me kind of want to watch it.
I do too.
To be honest, like again, like if it's what the title says, like it just looks super interesting.
They had to put that in parentheses though.
They must have.
All right, we're moving on. Best costume design. We got The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and the eventual winner, Little Women. This was another absolutely 100% well deserved.
Yeah.
Listen, that suit's really cool, and I love the aesthetic of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's basically a love letter to the 60s Hollywood. But there's no way. Little Women walked away. This was its award to lose.
I'm kind of surprised you're not vying for the Joker for this one.
Yeah, like I said, the suit's really cool. I like the aesthetic.
But only when that's like the only thing that really gets you.
I mean, yeah.
I think Little Women, again, I haven't seen the movie, but I just assumed that it's like...
Even if you watch the trailer, you can see the design. Like they took very, very care.
Well, detail. It's
right.
detail-oriented throughout the entirety of the film, I'm assuming, and I'm guessing. I mean, even that alone would make me want to watch that movie.
More design awards. Best production design. The nominees were The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, 1917, Parasite, and the winner, thank you, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Again, it's a love letter to the 60s Hollywood. They recreate sets. There's the scene where you see Brad Pitt's character, Cliff Booth, and he's going to this like ranch, and it's so open, but it still feels close. It's the Manson ranch, of Charles Manson.
Yeah.
But like just beyond that, everything, the entire production was beautiful,
fantastic, flawless, really, really good.
So we're gonna move on to best live action short film. Nominees were Brotherhood, Neff the Football Club, The Neighbor's Window, Saria and a Sister, with The Neighbor's Window winning. Haven't seen this. I want to. I heard it's really great. We're gonna move on to best adapted screenplay. The nominees are The Irishman, Joker, Little Women, The Two Popes, and the eventual winner, Jojo Rabbit, Taika Waititi. This is his second Oscar nomination and his first Oscar win. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, I heard that was a really good movie, so...
Oh, it's fantastic. And it's hilarious.
Knowing Taika Waititi's, like, direction for, like, most of his movies that he does, like, he deserved one eventually, so he got it.
It's hilarious. Like, the way that he wrote this film is hilarious. And yes, I see that name there. And as much as I appreciate what Todd Phillips and Scott Silver did, I have to give this to Jojo Rabbit. This was its award to lose.
I mean, we talked about this on one of the podcasts earlier. We talked about adapted screenplays. And it takes a certain finesse to do it well and to write a script well. And
especially when you're taking on a character that's very controversial and very, very hated, like Adolf Hitler. And trying to make him funny. Yeah. There's some you got to have some talent to do that. And kudos to Waititi.
Yep.
So, best original screenplay are nominees: Knives Out. Good job, Rian Johnson, getting that nomination. Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and the winner, Parasite. I have qualms with this. As much as I love the way Parasite is written, Tarantino has a style. It is a very unique style. and it shows up in spades in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I've heard you sing praises of Knives Out.
Oh, yeah, so
to the
good.
point where I'm like, it's not a want anymore. It's a need. I need to watch this.
Honestly, I thought Knives Out should have won this. I think that's right there with 1917 and right there with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Those three, in my opinion, for this one were neck and neck. And then Parasite just comes in and it's like, nope.
Nah,
it's mine.
They said, nah, fam, you're solid.
No, Knives Out was an exceptional movie. I know the last podcast I did with you, Ayinde, like, I raved about this movie, and I was like, how? How haven't they been nominated for stuff? How haven't they gotten awards?
When you think about original screenplay, you think about the plot.
And original movies, yeah.
Yeah, and you think about how could someone think of something like this, especially when, like, I mean, we're talking about Knives Out. There's a lot of these, like, murder mystery things that are coming out, and then you have something like this come out, and it just is fantastic. So, and I would say the same thing about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and 1917. So, I mean, nothing against Parasite, but I just don't kind of know why they're winning some of these awards. I don't know.
All right. I don't either. I'm going to be honest with you. This, again, I felt like this was Tarantino's to lose. It was, like, it's so good. His style is fits so well with this time period. And I believe it's the way that they handled the Manson family murders. I think that's why the people sort of pulled away from it. But I digress. We're moving on to the animation categories now. So we're going to move to Best Animated Short. The nominees are the word that means daughter. I'm not going to try and pronounce that. Hair Love, Kid Bull, Memorable, and Sister. Hair Love wins. Again, another one I haven't seen yet. I want to see it. Best Animated Feature, though.
Can we talk about one of these real quick? I loved Kit Bull. Kit Bull, if you've never seen it, it will make you cry so much. And it's it's so cool to see that Pixar is starting to get into these animated shorts, kind of thing. So I loved seeing that, but
they've been into the animated short business for a long time.
Exactly. So it's just cool seeing that, but kind of talking about Pixar.
Yeah, we're moving on to Best Animated Feature.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
So the nominees are How to Train Your Dragon 3, I Lost My Body, Klaus, Missing Link, and the eventual winner, Toy Story 4. Surprising, no Frozen 2 in this category.
Yeah. What's interesting about this, I believe Toy Story has won every single time. That's one. Two, every time How to Train Your Dragon has been nominated, they've never won, which makes me a little bit mad because every single film they've come out with, except maybe the second one, has been fantastic, and yet they lose, even to movies that aren't as good. But again, we talked about this a little bit, and I kind of want to get into this topic a little bit. How did Klaus not win?
That's what I want to. I wanted to talk about.
This is what I told him. Is that I think the Academy has something against Netflix, and
I know
because you'll see later on. The Irishman, which had 10 nominations, it had the second most nominations out of any movie and nominated. And they walked away with nothing.
Dang.
Absolutely nothing.
And I think, it's just that bias against Netflix, which is weird to me. I mean, I was talking to my sister about this over the weekend, and she said that it doesn't matter whether it comes out on Netflix or whether it comes out in a theater. As long as the movie is good and is good quality, and then eventually, like, it's released in theaters, as an Oscar-nominated movie, it should be highly considered to win. And it just makes me angry that just because it's on Netflix is one of the reasons. Again, I don't know, like, if that's the reason why it didn't win, but it
feels like it.
Yeah.
All of the Netflix movies, I don't think any of them won, right? Marriage Story didn't win. Klaus didn't win, obviously.
The Two Popes didn't win either.
Yep, Irishman
with nothing.
And eventually, I think, and right now, I mean, we're coming in an era of, and we're going to talk about this, of a foreign film winning Best Picture. I think in about 5 years, we're going to see these Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu.
I hope so.
Whoever's coming out with this stuff, they're going to start winning stuff and winning stuff big.
I hope so, because they go under the radar, and they're such good movies, but just get wiped out from these big budget, like Pixar. I'm not saying anything against Pixar, but just they go under the radar. I hope to see that they get some representation in the future.
I just want to point out that we all forgot that Missing Link was nominated over Frozen 2. Listen, I have sung this movie, Frozen 2's praises for a very long time as somebody who doesn't like the first one. I don't understand how Missing Link not only got nominated for this one, but it won a Golden Globe. How?
Don't even get me started. I mean, we talked about this last time. It makes me so angry. I kind of want to watch this movie just to see if it's worth it.
Yeah.
But, like...
I
just don't.
But we got to move on, man. To Best Supporting Actor, we're getting... All right, it's the big categories
Here
now.
we go.
Best Supporting Actor, we had Tom Hanks for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Anthony Hopkins for The Two Popes, Al Pacino for The Irishman, Joe Pesci for The Irishman, and the winner, Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Let me say this. This is his first ever win.
Is it?
This is his first ever Oscar, and I'm gonna give it to him.
Wait, this is Brad Pitt's first ever Oscar?
First ever Oscar.
And that is surprising.
Well deserved. His performance is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It takes some skill to outact Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what he does.
Oh, definitely. Which is ironic because Leo is also one of those actors who never
never
wins anything at the Academy Awards.
He got his one. He got his one with The Revenant. I don't think he should have won for that one. I think he should have won for The Wolf of Wall Street. But at least he got it. It takes skill to outact Leo DiCaprio. And Brad Pitt does it in spades. Like, he's the most interesting character in that movie. And that says a lot because Rick Dalton is fascinating.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Moving on to Best Supporting Actress, our nominees are Kathy Bates from Richard Jewell, Scarlett Johansson for Jojo Rabbit, Florence Pugh from Little Women, Margot Robbie in Bombshell, and the winner, Laura Dern in Marriage Story. I think this one should have been Scarlett Johansson's. I really think, but then again, she was also nominated for Best Actress.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson was in like every movie of 2019.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, it just seems like it. But I mean, we were talking about earlier, like, none of the Netflix movies won anything. Well, here you go. Here's something right here with Laura Dern winning for Marriage Story.
Again, I don't think this is deserved. I think Florence Pugh, she's not necessarily an up and comer, but I mean, she's about to make her name known. She's Yelena Belova in Black Widow. She's about to make her name known if you don't know her. I think this should have been hers or ScarJo's, but hey, congratulations, Marriage Story. You got your one. Now moving on to Best Director.
Oh,
this one I have some reservations on. The nominees were Martin Scorsese for The Irishman, Todd Phillips for Joker, Sam Mendes for 1917, Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and the winner, Bong Joon-ho for Parasite. This was Sam Mendes' to win. Absolutely 100%.
Oh, 100%.
Again, we talked about this earlier. It takes a certain amount of skill. It takes a certain amount of craftsmanship from a director to be able to make an engaging film that looks like it is just one take for an entire 2 hours.
Yes.
No disrespect to Bong Joon-ho. I'm great that he got this award, but to me, this should have been Sam Mendes's. Man, if not Sam Mendes, come on. Like, what Todd Phillips did with this character is fantastic. Like, all these directors deserve this award, but man, I did not expect him to win this. This was Sam Mendes's for me.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with you.
Mm-hmm. I have no qualms with that.
All right, we're gonna move on to Best Actress. We're gonna move on to Best Actress first. So we have Cynthia Erivo from Harriet, Scarlett Johansson from Marriage Story, Saoirse Ronan from Little Women, Charlize Theron from Bombshell, and the winner, Renee Zellweger for Judy. Interesting win. I really thought, again, this was a Scarlett Johansson award. But I mean, hey, I haven't seen Judy, so Renee Zellweger could be phenomenal in this movie. And this is the first time I've heard that name in a very long time.
And, like, even just hearing, like, this movie, I have no idea, like, what this movie is, what it's about. But, I mean, hey, like, if I am that way, a bunch of other people might be that way too, so this might be a way for her to kind of get back on the map.
Oh, yeah.
And now we move on to Best Actor. So we got to talk about the nominees. The nominees are Antonio Banderas for Pain and Glory, Leonardo DiCaprio, we just talked about him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Jonathan Pryce for The Two Popes, Adam Driver for Marriage Story, and the winner, the one everyone knew was going to win, Joaquin Phoenix won for the Crown Prince of Crime himself, the Harlequin of Hate, the Joker. Who was gonna beat this guy?
I don't think anybody was.
No, who was gonna beat him?
There was so much hype around his character, and he lived up to the hype. So, like...
Joaquin Phoenix is just really good at portraying really creepy people. Yeah.
And now we move on to Best Picture, the final award. Who took home the biggest award on the biggest night of film? The nominees are Ford v Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. And the winner of the 2020 Academy Award Best Picture, Parasite. Very interesting, and again, sets a precedent. This is the first foreign language film to ever win Best Picture.
Which is impressive.
Very impressive.
Looking at all the movies that are going up against, it's kind of surprising how they did win.
It seemed like 1917, and this was its award to lose.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like that to me, but Parasite winning, I'm happy with this.
Yeah.
I am 100%
I would be happy with any of these awards winning. Some more than others.
Joker.
I think that the fact that this film got nominated by itself, just in general, shows that the Academy is sort of pulling back its bias.
It's starting to be diverse.
Right. Yeah. It's starting to say, hey, look, comic book movies can be recognized as legitimate cinema, Scorsese. So, but once again, Parasite, well-deserved win. Again, I agree with you. This was 1917's to lose. But, hey, wow, this was a great win from Parasite. And I think now people are going to want to watch this movie because who saw this when it came out?
No one. In the United States.
I don't think anybody know.
No one. And the thing is, like I talked about earlier, I mean, you have 2 movies from Netflix nominated.
Yeah, that's right.
Look in the future for more Netflix movies to be nominated for Best Picture and just for these in general. And we have Disney Plus coming out. This is what's going to keep Netflix going.
Yep.
Is its nominations for the Academy Awards.
Yep, and that's every single Academy Award presented last night. We're not going to get into all of the special performances, none of the speeches. It's all about the awards here. And congratulations to every film that won every single one of these awards, guys. Thank you for coming on to talk about the awards on a special episode of Cinema Talk. We'll be back with a new episode, getting a double dose of Cinema Talk this week. Thank you guys once again for joining me. This has been Cinema Talk and Scene.